Hi, we're joined here with CS, CEO of Klook Insurance. So CS, I'm going to ask you a few questions.
Sure.
So firstly, in what ways can insurers prepare for the evolving expectations of the next generation of customers?
Yep. So our customers are pretty much mostly the next generation. We majority serve millennials and Gen Zs, and they have rapidly evolving tastes and preferences and the way they interact with just receiving information. So what we notice in the travel space now is that social is the new search. So people look at all sorts of social channels before deciding where they travel to. In fact, 79% of the customers that we survey travel to a destination because they have seen it on somewhere on social before, right? But today it's about social. Maybe tomorrow it's AI. Who knows what the channel is going to be in the future, right? So I think what's really important for insurers or any company, for the matter, is to stay very nimble, right? So I think it's important to, number one, I think increase the feedback loops that you have to be able to receive this information as quickly as possible and to act very quickly to understand, what are the channels that we can engage the next generation of tomorrow.
Yeah, it definitely sounds as though Klook is very in touch with the customers, especially the younger generation, in terms of like how they communicate as well as what the type of needs that they have as well. So moving on, what role will partnerships and ecosystems play in shaping the future of insurance landscape?
Right. So I think partnerships is increasingly important for many reasons. And we look for partners that we can work with on the long term and we try to go as in-depth as possible. I think the partnerships of the past for insurance is maybe more around maybe lead generation or distribution. But what we see about partners today is that they play a very active role in terms of engaging your customers, right? So not simply as a form of lead gen, but also in terms of engaging your customers, pre-booking in terms of marketing. So pre-booking and even post-booking, parts of the claims process or customer service process, a lot of the partners are very much involved as well. The partners today, because of the digital landscape, actually understand their customers the best, right? The specific scenarios that the customers are engaged in, right? And so if you're a partner like us, for example, we know how the millennials and Gen Z travels uniquely, right? And we have insights on how we can target them better. So I think, more so than ever, being able to forge strong partnerships between insurers and partners will be very critical, and we look forward to that.
Definitely, and I feel like Klook has a very strong edge in terms of that younger customer base as well, based on the data you guys already have, based on the feedback loops as well. And so I want to ask the final question, which is how can insurers foster a culture of continuous innovation while managing risk effectively?
So innovation actually is a topic that is very dear to me and specifically our business. In the past, there has only been one insurance product in the travel space, which is your travel insurance. But based on the feedback that we get from our customers, about 40% of them tell us that they would like coverages that are more modern or different from the existing options that are available, right? And so we speak to them often and we try to get their feedback as much as possible. However, we do need the support of the entire ecosystem. So we need our insurance carrier partners to be able to develop these products. And so being able to innovate and take on risks is extremely important. Now, I think that there's this perhaps sometimes misconception from my perspective that innovation and risk are like two opposite sides of the coin. Personally, I actually think of it as being on the same side of the coin. I don't see it as a trade-off or a zero-sum game. I actually see that it complements each other. If you are better at managing risk, then you can innovate better. And when you can innovate better, then you can provide better solutions to your partners. And so that's the way I view risk and innovation. So what I would like to do, I think, is usually two things. Number one is I try to break down the risk into more bite-sized portions that's more palatable, right? So, we are happy to be a bit more experimental, try a new product, a new cover, and it could be a risk that people are unfamiliar with, but we could start small and see how that works, right? And then we can decide from there whether we want to scale it up or not. That's number one, right? Secondly, I think what's really important is that when you do these experiments, to be able to react very quickly. So being able to leverage data, real-time data, and put that into your feedback loops and your decision-making process will be extremely important. And if you have a good system, you'll be able to take on more risk, try more innovative things, but also get to a successful product faster.
Yeah, it sounds as though right now you're really in touch with your customers, which is why you know how exactly to navigate those complexities as well. And thank you so much, CS, for sharing this.
Thank you.
And this is CS from Klook Insurance.
Thank you, Rachel.